And welcome back to the Roundball Report. As promised, we're joined on the other side by a guest that is actually very near and dear to me. He was an assistant coach at Holy Cross when I was in high school, and now he is the creator and founder of the Tri-State Report, as well as Ball Access, Derek McKeiver. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So I mentioned Tri-State and Ball Access. Tell us about it. Where did it come from, and what is it?
Tri-State Report is a recruiting service for girls basketball, helping kids in the DMV from the DMV all the way down to Hampton Roads. Most lifelong DMV residents don't include that part of Virginia, but I encompass the whole state of Virginia. It was just for kids that didn't have a shot. You know, everybody can't go to Notre Dame. Some people have to go to Stetson. Some people have to go to ECU. So, you know, we started the service fall of '09, which was my last. I stopped coaching in '09. It was my last summer. Started in the fall of '09. We've been going strong ever since.
And how has it been going for you so far?
Oh, it's going well. It's going well. We grew the company by leaps and bounds over this past summer. We have subscribers from the SEC, ACC, Big East, Patriot League, Conference USA. I'm leaving some out, and I'm sorry, but to name a few. But we're doing good. We went regional beginning of last year, so now we're in New York, New Jersey, as well as the DMV. We hit some spots in North Carolina this year. Saw some good athletes, some good talent down there. So.
And this area, as you well know, is a bevy for girls basketball talent. So for the coaches to have somebody as a reliable source that's kind of sorted out who are the legitimate candidates for the next level, it has to be invaluable.
Oh, of course, it really is. And excuse me, when you get on the road with them in the summertime as well, it helps, because not only are you seeing the kids that you've seen all year in high school, now they're in the summer, stakes are a little higher because the college coaches are out, and you're out and about on the road with them. So you're sitting amongst the coaches, talking to them about not only your service, but the kids that's there, as well as kids that you've seen from different parts of the country.
Now, we know about it. We talk about it all the time, AAU versus your high school teams. Do you get to kind of inform the coaches a little bit more if they have only seen a kid and maybe in one setting versus the other?
You do, and it comes up a lot. You know, it was a kid that played in a couple tournaments this past weekend where coaches didn't really get to see her this summer, or if they did see her, it was, well, she can't do this, she can't do that. Now this or with the high school, she's probably going to sign with a school real soon.
Right, and I know I have a son that goes to the Bullis School, and they have a dynamic girls basketball program, and a couple of their players, one of them is going to Richmond, and that was one of the things that her father talked about, is the previous coach, the role required her to play more of a 3-4, which in college she'll be a 1-2, and they didn't get a chance to see those skills with the high school team, but on the AAU circuit, she got a chance to show those skills off.
Right, Deja did a good job this summer. She did a good job this summer going to Richmond. Coach McGuire and them, they're getting a good kid down there. I was actually watching Bullis yesterday with Lene Belton, Raven James, Kirby Porter. So it was good. I like the talent that they have. They have a chance to do some special things for the next couple of years with the core group that they have.
Right, and we actually had Rod Hurston and those young ladies on the show last week. They're expected to do some big things, but and talk about what your perspective is on not just the top players, but the top teams in DMV this year.
Well, it's going to be tough this year because of the injury to Lindsey Spann is going to hurt the landscape of the WCAC. Lindsey's out, but you know St. John's doesn't have the height that they normally had, or the overall talent that they had. But when you have Notre Dame bound Lindsey Allen, upstart Amari Carter, you have a couple nice pieces. They have a nice freshman in Kayla Robbins, 2016 wing player. That's going to come along. But Paul VI right now, in my honest opinion, it's theirs to lose.
Wow. Paul
VI has everything that you can think of. The young freshman played this weekend. Jasmine Whitney did a great job. She played with a mask on her face. I believe she had a fractured nose. Don't quote, I believe it might be fractured. But she had a mask on her face, and she did well. They have West Virginia commit Ariana Freeman there. Jonquinay Cole, the young post player, 6'4" post player that got transferred in. Casey Curtis going to William & Mary. So they have a nice overall team. And in the WCAC, that's exactly what you need. You need a team to win a championship.
Now, I'm all about women's athletics as a former female athlete, but I get it. I do understand some of the dilemma that the media faces, fans face in terms of access and availability. Did you find that it was a window waiting to be opened in terms of people actually actively covering women's high school or I guess it's technically girls' high school basketball?
Well, it was for our area, since we are a top 5 area on both the boys and girls side. It was, you had some people covering it, but they were only covering the upper level kids, which is not good for the game, because in order for the game to grow, you have to have a multiple amount of players there to do things. So it was a window to be open, but in the same accord, it was, okay, it's open, how do you keep it open? You know, it's tough to really get in it and then get the coaches to understand. Coming from a coach's standpoint, I don't want your players. I'm not trying to take players and build a summer team. I want to help promote the kids. So it was tough, but in the same accord, it can get done.
But obviously, you've won a lot of coaches' confidence. You mentioned those major conferences where coaches have signed up. How does it work? Do they subscribe to your service? They get a secret list? Like, how does it work?
It's not a secret list. If they're doing their due diligence in the college, in the collegiate ranks, they know about some of these kids. Most of the times with these services, though, it's from the national guys on down to the regional guys. It's the access to get to you. You know, are you going to pick up the phone and call them back? Hey, I hear this kid is transferring. Yeah, she is transferring. What do you know? Well, you know, you might want to talk to the staff, you know, to figure out what's what, you know. Or if you have, have you talked to the parents, you know, talk to the parents or get an email going, things like that. As long as it doesn't break NCAA violations or anything like that, you help them out. It's the access. That's what the service is mainly all about. It's access for the college coaches.
Now, what about the student athletes in themselves? Do you do things to help them, or is it just you are providing a service by scouting, or what can you do to help the student athletes themselves?
We have in the past, like I've done some blasts for kids through all our contacts. I've done some blasts to help kids get recognition from college coaches. We have provided services where we were doing highlight tapes and things of that nature. We did do that. We kind of shied away from it because it was taking up too much time, or you would get film that you really couldn't see, and you know, editors are by the hour, so that takes a little bit of time. So we kind of shied away from it. So the next thing to do, when I thought, okay, well, if we can't do video this way, let's do it another way, which born Ball Access.
Now, Keith, I'm sorry. Derek McKeiver. I was thinking of Keith Brown. A friend is near and dear. So does he have to pay to access your service?
No,
we're talking about
of course.
the head coach of Georgetown, who I think you're very familiar with.
Oh yeah, that's my mentor. It all started with him. It all started with him. He gave me the foundation. You know, defend, rebound, share the ball. That's the premise to a lot of things, and it's transitions not just basketball into life. You know, those 3 principles. But yeah, of course they have to pay. There's no.
Okay, wait. I gotta bring it back around. I gotta bring it back around before we jump to Keith. Let me pay for that.
No freebies.
I'm gonna bring it back.
My man, though, but no freebies.
You mentioned before we jump there.
It's business. It's not personal.
Oh God! Before we jump there, you mentioned out of Tri-State was born Ball Access. Can you hit on Ball Access a little bit for us?
Ball Access is something that I thought about in the beginning of Tri-State, but I always tried to figure out how to do it. And then once the video aspect of Tri-State Report fell to the wayside, Ball Access really became that next vehicle to do it. We debuted it this past weekend at the Tina Thompson She Got Game Classic, and we streamed some games. Okay. So now what we're doing with Ball Access right now, until we really develop it, it's just for college coaches. Okay. So it's another vehicle to help college coaches that can't get here to the area or wherever I'm at, actually, since we're streaming wirelessly, to be able to see kids and see them in a different light, see them in game situations, and it's live. One of the subscribers, they called me the next morning and said, Derek, it's phenomenal. You know, she said, you're tweeting about the event, and then we get to see it. Because, you know, it's on delay, but you get to see it. It's like, wow. You know, then they were talking about the Good Counsel Shabazz game, which was incredible. So, you know, it's great it's a great tool for the college coaches, you know, and we're going to continue to grow it.
And talk about what's on the horizon, because my son tells me from the Bullis girls that you go to the national tournaments, there are girls that are dunking in 9th and 10th grade now.
It's coming. The game is changing. and the transitions, the same way the men's game it changes. Now you have players like Kevin Durant, you know, 6'11", 7 feet, handling the rock, going to the hole, doing what they do. Now you have point guards in the girls' side that's 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", doing the same thing. So you know, a post player for us might be 6'4", 6'5", which is 6'10", 6'11" on the men's side. But it's the game is getting bigger, it's getting faster. It's becoming more exciting.
So you were the one that let Brenda know that Alyssa Thomas was how old that she was going to be?
Nah.
Can't take credit for that one.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something now. Brenda gets it in when it comes to recruiting. She has a young lady coming from Pennsylvania. Just wait till she gets on campus. She can go.
That's awesome.
Give me your specifics again, how they catch out on your report.
You can always catch us at tristatereport.net. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Tri-State Report. And, you know, we love to have y'all.
All right, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. I'm so happy for you. We've come such a long way.
Wow.
Okay. Not only are we done with that moment, I think we're done with the Roundball Report. But that's going to do it. I know you enjoyed it. It was informative and action-packed. And you can look forward for more great things in the new year.